How to avoid negative people. Being around negative people can drain your energy and cause you to feel trapped and overwhelmed. Learning to recognize the negative people in your life, and finding ways to avoid them will result in a more sustainable and satisfying life for you. If you can't avoid the person completely, there are other ways to handle the person's negativity and limit the effect it has on your life. Staying away from someone. Walk away. If you see the person coming, turn around and walk in the other direction. Cross the street, or duck into a shop. If you're lucky, the negative person won't have seen your maneuver. If you know the negative person's normal routines, avoid going to the places where she's likely to be, or go at times she's unlikely to be there. It's important to be aware of your surroundings so that you don't accidentally encounter the negative person. Don't pay attention to the negative person. To avoid someone, make sure you're never available for conversation. Keep your phone handy, so you can pretend to be completely engaged in it if the person you're trying to avoid shows up unexpectedly. Making eye contact invites communication, so if you accidentally encounter the negative person, try to avoid looking them in the eye. Instead, pretend to be busy looking elsewhere. If you know anyone else in the vicinity, get involved in a conversation. When the negative person sees you engaged in a conversation with another person, she's unlikely to interrupt with her negative remarks. Surround yourself with positive friends. Almost all friends have a mix of positive and negative qualities. If you stop engaging in negativity, chances are you'll find yourself with more positive people. Limit your responses to negative topics to neutral ones, such as, I see, or okay. When someone gives a positive response, react with enthusiasm. Negative people tend to stay stuck in bad things that happen, and exaggerating their plight. Positive people tend to focus on the good things that happen, even though they may acknowledge difficulty and challenges. This is because positive people tend to have an internal locus of control, which means they feel more in control of their circumstances and the things that happen to them. 3. When negative subjects arise, it's okay to change the subject. Hang out in groups. If you can, make sure that there are other people around when you're with the negative person. More people will help disperse her negative energy, and help you keep perspective. When she's in a group situation, the negative person might act and respond differently to you than when the two of you are alone together. If the group energy is mostly positive, then you'll be less affected by the negative energy coming from the person you're trying to avoid. Don't engage in arguments with the person. Arguments only strengthen the social ties between yourself and the negative person. If you're trying to avoid the person, you should let them know that you're done with the conversation, and simply walk away. You're not debating your decision to avoid the person. This isn't a decision that needs to be made together. Defending your decision only allows the negative person more control over your life. You don't need to justify your decision to avoid her, or prove that you're right. You have the option to avoid anyone you decide to. Block the person on social media. If you're serious about avoiding the negative person in your life, don't engage with them on social media. Allowing someone to post on your Facebook wall, or take over a conversational thread, only furthers their hold on your life. Be prepared for the person to react negatively to being cut from your social media feed. You may need to block the person from contacting you by email as well. The person should get the message that you're avoiding her. If the person doesn't respect your boundaries, and continues to try to contact you after repeated blocks and lack of response on your part, you may need to seek additional help keeping her away. Don't feel like you owe the person an explanation. Deciding what your boundaries are, who you are going to spend time with, and who you choose to avoid, are all personal decisions that each individual has the right to make for herself. You don't have to explain your decision to anyone unless you feel like it. A brief explanation of why you're deciding to end a friendship can be done in writing or in person, but you don't need to provide a lengthy explanation. A longer explanation can quickly become a debate about whether or not you're right, when all you really need to do is tell them calmly that you've decided to end the friendship.